How this e-commerce brand generated over $4 million in a single year with mostly Google ads. Now, a lot of e-commerce store owners might even think of this as the dream number. Now, this sort of value with an e-commerce brand is basically a dream for 95% of e-commerce store owners out there. So exactly how can an e-commerce brand come into the market with a generic product, I would even say a product which is sold by a lot of other competitors, and do not one, not two, but $4 million in a single year? And let me tell you that if you are not at this level right now, it's only because of your own skills, it's only because of your own strategies that you are currently implementing with your e-commerce brand. And unfortunately, as harsh as that sounds, it's the truth, because I see way too many e-commerce store owners out there, both with my Google Ads agency, which I always audit accounts for, and also just in general my YouTube subscribers, where they're just basically listening to every random strategy out there in the market, every random guru out there, and as a result, their strategies are not in place. They're kind of all over the place. So the store I'm referring to is this one right here, currently changing the time period to just last year. We can see this brand did roughly $4,073,560 and 22 cents in a single year. This was mostly done through Google Ads. There was a lot of help from Facebook as well, but as we will soon see, more than 50% of this overall value came from Google Ads alone. And the beauty about this e-commerce brand is today, so far when I'm recording this video, which is on August 24th, we have currently done 5.2K in sales. This month, we've already crossed about $103,000 in total. And now, because of some issues this e-commerce brand was having with Facebook ads, we are basically 95% Google Ads. Even in that case, we're still doing over 6 figures every single month. Before I continue further, however, talking about this e-commerce brand, let's go on over to the Google Ads account for this brand and take a little bit of a closer look at the results of exactly what happened last year. Because again, if you do $4 million in revenue, but then you spent $3 million to get that $4 million, obviously that's not too profitable, and some e-commerce store owners might even laugh at that. So right here, we're within that ad account, going now inside the Google Ads account, changing the time period to basically the 1st of January. So first and then 01 right here, and we're gonna change this to 2021. Now we're gonna change this to 12/31st, and then we're gonna move this time period to 2021 once again, because we want to get a clear idea of how this store did in the entirety of last year. So as you can see, in total $107,000, and by the way, this is in Canadian dollars because the store owner does live in Canada. However, the brand does run within the USA only. But during that time period, we did roughly $1.6 million in revenue just from Google Ads alone, and this number, it's a little bit above 2 million because not every sale was properly tracked during this time period with Google Ads, and that too at a 14x ROAS. So pretty decent results if you ask me, and more than 90% of e-commerce store owners are not able to scale to this level, let alone with a 14x ROAS. So we're gonna kind of break down exactly what this store was, so the basics of this e-commerce brand, what kind of products it sells, the overall landing page experience with this brand, how it approaches the back end, including the strategies when it comes to Google Ads, and the overall scale of how this e-commerce brand is able to maintain a 14x ROAS, that too consistently month in, month out, year in, year out. Because if we look at now, just this month alone, we're hitting basically a 6.80x ROAS. We have done over $50,000 in revenue from Google. Again, this is not fully accurate, and the results have started to go down just a little bit this year alone, because again, we are in a recession period. And if we just look at 180 days up to today, this kind of is confirmed based off of the results. So just again, looking at the overall purchases and everything, we can see it's starting to go down. By the way, I started work with this e-commerce brand. This case study is fully based off of the things that I saw going on last year with the Google Ads account, as well as earlier this year. But of course, as I just started work with this e-commerce brand late July, we can already see that the overall results have started to go up. Actually, if you look a little bit closer as to what's happening so far, the scale itself has started to go up as well. So if we look at conversion value and purchases, we can see that in the recent time period, things are starting to go up much more, because they were starting to go down before this e-commerce brand approached us. And again, this is under my Google Ads agency, Your Marketing, which if you're currently doing $30,000 or more per month in revenue, you need a little bit of extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can possibly work together and make that happen. But let's now start talking about the overall basics and the back end of this e-commerce brand. So this is actually a full-on professional e-commerce brand. Currently, there are about 17 employees working on this brand, the landing page and everything extremely professional, and I'm going to be showing you some similar websites to what I would classify this e-commerce brand as. So in terms of the overall products, in terms of the overall landing pages and all of that stuff, it is a higher ticket brand. So if we go inside the campaigns and just look at this month alone, look at the overall AOV for these campaigns right here, we can see that the AOV is actually very high, about 753 Canadian dollars. So that's a pretty big number right there. And because it's such a big number, even if we get about 1, 2, 3 sales or so, like for example 82 sales alone as it says, but this is actually much more, because as you can see, conversions by conversion time, it says 105. The overall revenue number is $64,000. So because of such a high AOV, we're able to scale very fast, very quickly in terms of the revenue. So that's really one benefit about an e-commerce brand like this, because when you have a higher AOV like this e-commerce brand, what happens is you're able to achieve these numbers very quickly and with profits, because $4 million in sales, it was achieved at a 10x ROAS and above. It would not have been possible if we had been running at a very low AOV. I mean, if I just go ahead and open up a calculator right here very quick to just show you some numbers, like last year this brand got about 9,997 orders. So if we do 9,997 orders and now lower the AOV from whatever it was, so $418 to just, let's say for example $30, we would have only done $299,910 in revenue for the entire year. You can see what a big drastic difference that is in terms of the 4 million this e-commerce brand actually did. Why? Because of AOV. So if you don't get anything else from this video, just get this. The more you improve your AOV, the bigger the numbers that you will be able to do and the more you'll be able to scale with the same amount of orders or even a lower amount of orders. So that's essentially what this e-commerce brand had going on. It had very high ticket items. But if we now go on over to the sample brand, because again, this sample brand right here mimics sort of the brand that I'm talking about here within this case study in terms of the overall layout. And of course, for security reasons, I'm not going to be able to reveal this exact brand that I'm talking about here. But it follows a very similar landing page experience like this one right here with Prusa Research. This e-commerce brand that I'm doing a case study on has a full-on customized approach, meaning it has a full-on customized appeal to it. Like if we get on the product page, we can see that the description right here, it's very custom. It's on the left side and then followed by on the right side the overall variations of this product right here, the CTA on the right side with the custom trust badge. And then as you scroll down, the overall CTA and everything scrolls down with you. Plus, if you look at the actual description, it is laid out in a very custom manner. There is nothing generic to it. I mean, if you landed on this case study website I'm talking about, which is again very similar to what this layout is right here, you won't be able to tell that it's actually a Shopify store. So that's really what I'm noticing in 2022 and onwards in terms of which e-commerce brands are really finding the greatest level of success. Those e-commerce brands that are taking the time to make sure that their landing pages are very custom, their descriptions look custom, they're doing proper search engine optimization. Those are the e-commerce brands that are getting the highest level of success. So again, with a brand like this that is higher ticket brand, we are still able to maintain an overall conversion rate of 0.86%. And if you ask me, that is an absolutely amazing conversion rate. I mean, if you just look at the conversion rate for this month, even we can see that the month to date conversion rate, it's still a very good number. I mean, it has decreased just a bit, but because we are improving the overall funnel and everything with this e-commerce brand ever since I came on, we can see the conversion overall value has started to increase. Even the conversion rate has started to increase, including the AOV. So things are going upwards, but that's simply because there are tweaks getting done on the landing page itself. So I can't tell you how important it is, along with having high ticket items in 2022, 2023 and onwards, to have also a very functional landing page. So those two things that are getting really done correctly with this e-commerce brand: number one, they have high ticket items on their brand. Number two, their landing pages are spot on. They're speckless, professional, sleek, and clean. And again, one more thing with the landing pages, their landing pages are loading very quickly. So if you go on a website like Page Web Speed Insights and do a quick test on your own e-commerce brand, is the speed overall less than 3 seconds or not? And if you answered no, then you've got a lot of work to do, because the case study brand I'm going over right now has a very fast speed. Because of that fast speed, things are flowing well. The people that land on the landing page, they're actually going through the funnel and not just dropping off, not having a very high bounce rate, because things things are loading very smoothly. And by the way, when I mentioned funnel, it's not just the landing page itself, it's what happens after you click the buy now button, and then what happens after you click the proceed to checkout or cart page, and then also what happens when you're entering all of the information in. Are you really helping the customer go through the entire funnel very easily, or are you adding a lot of drastic things to it, which makes it very difficult for a customer to go through the entire funnel? So you need to really make sure that you are making it easy for your customer to go in and go through the funnel very quickly, very seamlessly, and very easily. But this is not the only thing they're doing right. Now we move on to the actual campaign side of things, because as you know, without a proper campaign strategy, nothing is gonna work right, period. So as you can see right here with the campaign side of things, we currently have 10 different campaigns running. And if we look at the last 30 days alone for these campaigns, because a lot of these campaigns we actually came in and restarted, you can see that overall they've been running at a 9.28x ROAS. So very good ROAS. They are getting individually very good ROASs as well. I mean, the top one got a 6x ROAS, which is a PMAX campaign. The second one, which is a branded search campaign, got a 26x ROAS. This one got a 25x ROAS, and so on and so forth. So the main strategy here, nothing different than what I really say on my YouTube videos or within my Google Ads Mastery course. You need to introduce phases and segmentation within your campaigns in 2022 for them to work properly. So I'm not gonna reveal the exact names of these campaigns for obvious reasons, but this first one is a campaign for the best-selling products only, targeting the United States, hence why the ROAS is a 6x, and we're currently spending about, right here as you can see, 100 Canadian dollars a day on it. It has spent $2,600 and gotten 14 sales, so it's running very, very well. But this campaign right here, on the other hand, it's a counter to this first campaign. This campaign is only for all of the products within the brand, targeting the USA only. As you can see, the overall ROAS, it's not the best at 2x ROAS, but still not bad as well, because this is supposed to break even. And the main goal with this campaign is to test products, to understand what is working, what is not working, to then funnel into this first campaign right here. So this is exactly what I mean when I say segmentation, when I say that you need to have phases. So this campaign right here is for the first phase, which is the testing phase. This first campaign is for the second and third phase of the overall funnel, which is profitability phase and scaling phase. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, watch some of my other videos where I go in detail into these phases. But on a strategic level, on a strategic overview, you need to have phases. So a testing phase, a profitability phase, and then a scaling phase, but not only for one country, but for multiple different countries. So this campaign right here is running for Canada only, not really performing the best, but it has just started, so it's getting there. And this one right here, targeting Canada, Australia, and United Kingdom, a search campaign, but you can see the ROAS is extremely well. And also these ones right here are dynamic remarketing campaigns. So along with different phases and different segmentation for shopping, we are also introducing search campaigns. We're also introducing dynamic remarketing campaigns. So what's essentially happening is with this account, all of these different campaign types are coming together as a whole. They're feeding each other data on an account level, and because it's getting a lot of data very quickly, each individual campaign is able to gather this data, use it to its own advantage, and then perform much, much better. Because now if we just look at the last 14 days right here and we compare it to the last 14 days prior to that period, we can see what's happening overall. So the ROAS has dipped just slightly, but then if we look at the conversion time column right here, overall conversions have increased by 26%. And if we look by scrolling to the right here to what's happening on this end of things, we can see that the conversion value has just dipped very slightly. So there's more stability than what used to be here in the previous time period. And now if we kind of change this to just the last 30 days, we can see a similar thing happening. So here overall, if we look at the biggest increase, which is conversion value, we can see a 34% increase in conversion value. Again, for this e-commerce brand, increasing the revenue is the number one goal right now, because the revenue was dropping and conversions have increased as well. Things are looking very on a positive right here. I mean, just the conversion time, 118% increase. So again, this is the main goal. ROAS does decrease when you start to scale, but that's just a byproduct of what happens when you start to scale. So that's essentially what's happening with the Google ad side of things. But that's not the only thing that we're doing in order to achieve these kinds of results at a scale, that too consistently. In addition, if you now go to the shopping tab right here, if you look a little bit closer, you'll notice that a lot of these e-commerce brands have things like trusted store badges right here. They have these reviews going on. Some of them even have promotions going on. So for example, it's a sale right there that only happened because somebody in the back end introduced a sale or a promotion inside the Google Merchant Center. So these things are called Google Merchant Center promotions, Google Merchant Center opportunities, which you can then go into the back end and actually apply for, which is what we are doing with this e-commerce brand. I mean, with this e-commerce brand, there was no trusted store badge, which we went in and did. We also submitted all of these reviews onto the Google Shopping program via Loox. If you have no idea how to do that, I've made a video on my channel, which you can check out. But in addition, we have done a lot of proper search engine optimization techniques for this e-commerce brand, which has then indirectly helped with the overall scale for this e-commerce brand. I mean, if we just look at the overall things that are happening, even though the CTR has decreased by 71% for this e-commerce brand, the impressions have increased by 1,1119%, and that's solely because of the search engine optimization techniques we did. Now, because the scale increased for impressions, which means when impressions go up, you now start showing your ads to a bigger pool of audience members, and because you're showing your ad to a big wide variety of different audience members, your CTR starts to go down because people or consumers within this bigger pool of audience might not necessarily be the highest buying intent audience members. So what essentially happens is less people purchase and less people even click, but you are showing your ad to more people. So as a result, you end up increasing your sales and conversion value, which is exactly what happened here. So it's just, again, kind of a byproduct. In addition, if you look right here, because we did those proper search engine optimization techniques, we really spent a lot of time optimizing the back end. The overall cost per link click actually decreased by 28%. And this is what I keep on hammering time again within my YouTube videos. If you don't focus on proper SEO techniques, your cost per link clicks will stay the same or go up. And as a result, your sales and conversion values and ROAS will start to go down. It's just what's going to happen because, again, you're not helping Google's algorithm. We went in, we helped Google's algorithm by practicing proper SEO techniques, by doing keyword research and all of that good stuff. Hence why the average CPCs went down despite the impressions going up by 1100%. So just get a general idea of what I'm saying there. You are showing your ad to more people, in this case, increasing your ad reach by 1000% by paying less by 28% than what you were paying previously. Just take a second to internalize that because that is a really big thing that only happens when you do the proper feed optimization, when you do proper SEO in the backend. So that's really what we were doing in the backend. But this brings me now to the scale. How are we scaling this e-commerce brand? How are we consistently increasing the results? Because as you saw right here, just this month alone, we have increased the results by 31% in the total sales amount. This is just going to keep going up because Q4 is not even here yet. Again, when I'm recording this video, it's only August 24th. So in Q4, you can imagine with such a powerful setup, how fast and how long this e-commerce brand is going to scale. So in terms of scale, we're keeping it very simple. We're keeping the things very lean. So we're going to only have a few scaling campaigns, mostly performance max campaigns like this one right here, just one PMax campaign per country, using all of the best selling product within here. And we're going to be increasing the budget and also as needed the ROASs by 10% to 25% every 7 to 14 days. Now, one thing I've understood with PMax is the longer you wait, the better. So no more less than 7 days optimization, only optimizing after 7 to 14 days and forward. So that's essentially what we're doing here, just waiting 7 to 14 days and then increasing budgets, decreasing target ROASs, because if you increase target ROAS, you're going to lower the ad spend that you do daily because you are becoming stricter. So that's really not what we want to do in this case. So we are only focusing on the budget mostly. But in addition, we're scaling by search campaigns. Like as you can see right here, this is a dynamic generic search campaign that we have going on right here. I've made a video on my channel which goes over dynamic search campaigns as well. And as you can see, it's really not performing at the best level possible, but it is starting to get up here. And this one also a dynamic search campaign. It did get a sale. As you can see, the overall AOV for this one is very high. But again, the ROAS is not there. It does require a lot of optimization until it gets to that profitability level, which is what we're focused. But that's essentially how we're scaling a lot of shopping campaigns, but focusing mostly on just 1 or 2 bestseller campaigns with Performance Max, along with having dynamic search campaigns, having dynamic remarketing campaigns, and also introducing some YouTube campaigns later on to add to the mix. Because with scale, you want to understand that the more campaign types you have in 2022, 2023 and onwards, the better. And that's pretty much going to lead us to this long-term consistent growth with this e-commerce brand while maintaining a 9x ROAS, 10x ROAS, and so on and so forth for this. But again, if you are doing $30,000 or more per month in revenue with your e-commerce brand and you want to scale further with Google Ads and you already might be scaling but you need a little bit of extra help, go on to my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can possibly work together and make that happen. But if you found any type of value in this video, destroy that like button, destroy that subscribe button, and watch any of these 2 videos right in front of my face to take your e-commerce brand's journey to the next level. And I will see you in my next video.